Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gamansi. In our top story, a young woman and her two sons were reported missing on Sunday by family members. The community acted swiftly and assembled in search parties to look for the family today. Shortly after a press conference held today, police were informed that two bodies were reportedly found unresponsive near a local beach. News 2 Stephanie Brown reports.
The Virgin Islands Police Department was notified around midday today that two young children's decomposed bodies were found in the bushes around the Halfpenny Beach on St. Croix by an individual that was cutting grass.
The bodies were found on the South Shore Road, about a quarter mile east of Halfpenny Beach. All right, about 15 feet off the edge of the road, over a barbed wire fence in the bushes.
VIPD still has to conduct DNA tests to positively identify if indeed the two boys found are 10-year-old Jordan and 5-year-old Jeremiah Siru. Liana Siru is still missing. At a press conference held earlier today, the VIPD lead detective informed that they received notification of the missing family on Sunday.
She saw her mother on Friday. They were looking for her on their own. They were calling and trying to locate an adult female on their own. And when they realized that they have exhausted all means, then they came to the police and said, we can't find her.
This morning, search parties along with the VIPD were out looking for the family. Mr. Rue was last seen driving a 2011 silver Toyota Yaris.
On Monday, July 31st, at approximately 7:30, a badly burned vehicle was located in the Lower Love area in the vicinity of the agriculture property.
However, no bodies were found in the burnt car, nor did the bodies found at Halfpenny suffer from burnt injuries.
Let's just make this clear. Where the two bodies were found, there were actually no fire. The bodies weren't burnt. They were just badly decomposed.
Siru reportedly had issues with a previous boyfriend.
She had the one restraining order against a former boyfriend, and she then rescinded that restraining order.
Yes, there is some idea of interest. Well, again, as we go along with the investigation, then we determine how we deal with a person of interest.
For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
Now, in response to the shootings last week and this, Senator Marvin Blyden will host an emergency community meeting on Wednesday, August 2nd at Crush Nightclub at 6:30 p.m. located in Subbase next to Pueblo and across from the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. The newly appointed Territorial Chief of Police, Mr. Winsbuck McFarlane, who you just saw, will be in attendance to meet and speak with concerned community leaders, residents, and community organizations. We will hear from his plans on combating crime, monies received and earmarked for the purchase of street cameras, and receive feedback from all concerned. Senator Blyden looks forward to a great turnout and asks that family, friends, everyone spread the message, attend this important community meeting. Well, 10 years in prison with credit for 387 days already served was the sentence, and VI Superior Court Judge Denise Francois handed down today on Irvin Ocasio-Flores for sexually assaulting a woman. In a brief statement, Attorney General Claude Walker said as the Department of Justice continues its aggressive stance of trying and winning these sexual assault cases, we will help to deter the type of despicable conduct for which defendants had been convicted. 42-year-old Ocasio-Flores was punished for first-degree rape and first-degree unlawful sexual contact after a jury convicted him on June 16th of raping a woman while she slept. Prosecutors had recommended that Flores serve 30 years behind bars for first-degree unlawful sexual contact. And on Ocasio-Flores' sentencing, a statement from the victim was read into the record by Elma Brathwaite, victim advocate of the Department of Justice. She said, "I am fighting for my life because of what Irvin Ocasio-Flores did to me." The statement read, "I cry every day because he destroyed my life. He destroyed my family. Because of the rape, I have lost a lot. Irvin Ocasio-Flores is a danger to others because I believe he is sick enough to do this again to someone else. I ask for you to keep him in jail until it is time for him to go to the cemetery." Here's an update on another case. 2 more defendants charged in connection to the robbery of McDonald's restaurant on St. Thomas have agreed to plea deals. The robbery occurred on March 26. Former VI Justice Department investigator Troy Titley, 36, and Helwood Urbina Paris, 20, filed plea agreements in exchange for a reduction in criminal charges. Both had been facing several federal criminal charges, but prosecutors have agreed to instead charge Titley with only misprision of a felony, and Paris would plead guilty conspiracy to commit Hobbs Act robbery and first-degree robbery. The case had been set to go on trial on Monday. Police said Juan de Dios, 17, Hanselo Joseph Felix Ricio, 18, and 16-year-old, who had not been identified, entered the restaurant wearing masks and armed with guns. The robbers stole cash from the restaurant and ended up in a standoff with police. In other news, the Committee on Finance, chaired by Senator Kurt Violet, held a meeting on the Capitol building today to receive testimony on the fiscal year 2018 budget overview and revenue projections from the Virgin Islands Bureau of Economic Research. The BIR fiscal year 2018 budget request is $662,000. According to Senator Violet, the allotment would be coming out of the Tourism Evolving Fund and not out of the general fund. Separately, Office of the Governor, the Virgin Islands Fire Service, and the Division of Personnel also shared their fiscal year budget requests. Rochelle Benjamin, Director of the Business and Administration for the Office of the Governor, stated that the budget request is for $9 million. The budget breakdown is as follows: General Fund, $8 million, BER is $512,000, and the Tourism Revolving Fund is $150,000. Clifford Joseph, Director of the Virgin Islands Fire Service, stated that the fiscal year budget request is $18 million. Now, Milton Potter, Director of the Division of Personnel for the Government of the VI, stated that their fiscal year budget request is $3 million, and this is a 6.8% decrease in comparison to the fiscal year 2017 budget. The Young Democrats of St. Croix issued a statement on Tuesday discussing Bill number 32-0102 that provides that if a retiree remains in government service for 30 days, then the retiree must begin to recontribute to the government employees' retirement system of the Virgin Islands. The GERS pension plan, which cover retirement benefits for nearly 20,000 combined active and retired firefighters, teachers, police officers, and other government employees in the territory, is underfunded by $3.17 billion. The single greatest problem facing the territory is the foreseeable future, they said. The GERS pension system's inevitable collapse forecasted within the next 5 years. The Young Democrats president, Troy Williams, said over the past 20 years, the system has faced liquidity issues for numerous reasons, to include legislation which allows retirees to return to work, continue to collect an annuity, and receive a salary while no longer contributing to the pension plan is severely counterproductive. This legislation allows for the government and former retired personnel to avoid paying the retirement system the employee-employer contributions it needs to pay out retiree benefits. The Young Democrats urged the 32nd legislature to pass this measure and urges Governor Mapp to sign it into law. Well, after swearing in a new chief of staff and kicking a communications director to the curb, the White House is aiming to jumpstart President Trump's stalled legislative agenda and hoping to put the seeming chaos and distractions behind them, with John Kelly at the helm, as tensions between the United States and foreign adversaries escalate. Keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. According to the numbers, we can see the Dow up 72, NASDAQ up 14, S&P 500 up 6. Coming up on News 2, we have much more straight ahead, including the Be Smoke-Free Tobacco campaign and what that means for the territory. That's coming up next. Welcome back. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has expanded an investigation into 1.3 million Ford Explorers over possible carbon monoxide issues. This applies to vehicles made between 2011 and 2017. The NHTSA says more than 2,700 complaints have been filed by owners who were concerned they were exposed to carbon monoxide while in Explorers, including those who drive them as police vehicles. The announcement comes on the heels of the Austin, Texas Police Department pulling all Explorers from their police fleet following multiple complaints. The 446 Explorers make up a large majority of the department's fleet. Some officers, including one from California, are suing Ford Motor Companies. In a statement late Friday, Ford said they will cover the cost of specific repairs in every police interceptor utility that may have carbon monoxide concerns. Well, began Monday earlier this week. Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority crews in St. Croix began installation of an underground duct bank and a transformer pad on Church Street in Christiansted, and that will be taking place until Monday, August 7th from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Church Street will be closed to vehicular traffic. This schedule allows the authority and its contractors to complete the underground installation with minimum disruption. This road closure will not impede traffic in Christiansted Town, as traffic will be able to use alternate routes around the construction area. Motorists are asked to adhere to posted signs for the safety of crews, pedestrians, and other drivers. There will be no electrical service interruption. As a result of this work on Church Street, every effort will be made to restore normal vehicular traffic as soon as possible. The authority apologizes for any inconvenience caused by this traffic disruption. Well, today, Governor Kenneth Mapp announced his decision to accept the FirstNet and AT&T plan to deliver a wireless broadband network to the territory's public safety community, helping first responders save lives and protect communities. This makes the U.S. Virgin Islands the first U.S. territory to opt in to the FirstNet network. Governor Mapp said the United States Virgin Islands participated in FirstNet consultation and outreach activities throughout the planning of the network and reviewed the details. And he said, I have determined that it is in the best interest of the USVI and the country to participate in the FirstNet deployment of the National Public Safety Broadband Network. AT&T, in a public-private partnership with FirstNet, will build, operate, and maintain a highly secure wireless broadband communications network for the Virgin Islands public safety community at no cost to the territory for the next 25 years. He said the FirstNet network will drive innovation and create an entire system of modernized devices, apps, and tools just for the first responders. FirstNet network will transform the way Virgin Islands fire, police, EMS, and other public safety personnel communicate and share information. Preemption for primary use over the AT&T LTE network is expected by year end. Well, Commissioner of Labor Catherine Hendry, on behalf of the VI Department of Labor Family, congratulates the 23 participants who have successfully completed their training in the online MedCerts healthcare and IT training programs. Now, MedCerts is a renowned training provider of healthcare and IT certification credentials. In December 2016, Vital issued a solicitation for persons interested in pursuing a career in healthcare or information technology. The response, they say, was overwhelming, and in February 2017, online classes started in the medical administrative assistants, billing and coding specialists, and information technology for about 58 participants. Now, the St. Thomas graduation ceremonies that was held today at the Windward Passage Hotel. St. Croix's ceremony will be held on Thursday, August 3rd, at the Juan F. Louis Hospital's Cardiac Center. That's from about 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and we will have more information on the program. The USVI Department of Health officially launched its Be Smoke-Free Tobacco campaign, as we shared yesterday. The campaign serves to alert residents and visitors of the dangers of smoking in association with one's health and the dangers of secondhand smoke, especially its impact on children's health. Here's more. Video PSAs will be aired on television and during the previews at movie theaters in both districts. Radio PSAs, billboards placed throughout the territory, and promotions on social media. The Department of Health aims to discourage tobacco use.
The tobacco-free campaign is in line with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, and the nation's vision to create a world free from tobacco-related deaths and disease.
They aim to discourage the use among our youth and young adults, promote quitting among smokers, eliminate exposure to secondhand smoke, increase awareness of the dangers of tobacco use, and bring awareness to the smoke-free law.
Act 7171 was passed in 2010 to promote a smoke-free environment. The smoke-free law requires businesses to post no smoking signs in their establishments in which smoking is prohibited within 20 feet of any establishment's entrance, exit, window, ventilation system, or other openings of any public place and place of employment. The law also speaks to no smoking within 20 feet of all outdoor public transportation stations, outdoor service, or waiting lines, for example, food vans. Smoking, though, is allowed in private homes, private clubs, retail tobacco stores, for example.
Tobacco use is the leading cause of various preventable chronic disease, disability, and death in the U.S. Smoking can lead to heart disease, lung diseases, cancer, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, diabetes, and stroke.
What makes tobacco products so dangerous? Chemicals are found at every stage of the tobacco growing process to growing plant to the manufacturing of the product for sale in the form of cigars, cigarettes, cigarillos, tobacco leaves, chewing tobacco, snuff, and etc. The burning of tobacco releases over 4,000 chemicals. Nicotine, one of the most talked about chemicals in tobacco, naturally exists in the tobacco plant. It is known that tobacco may lead to addiction in the tobacco user. Nicotine enters the body when smoked, inhaled, or chewed, and eventually ends up in the bloodstream.
Tobacco products and tobacco smoke contain many harmful chemicals, such as acetone.
In addition to nicotine, over 4,000 chemicals are released from the smoke to include acetone, which is found in nail polish remover, butane, found in lighter fluid, ammonia, found in our household cleaner, arsenic, found in rat poisoning, and many, many more. We don't want these chemicals entering into our bloodstream. Once they enter our bloodstream, they enter into all the areas of our body. And this can lead to damage to our brain and other organs, to include your heart, to include your lungs. And this also leads to increase in blood pressure, increase in heart rate, and affects the nervous system as well. In our community, we use Fanta, which is the tobacco leaf. I want it to be known that Fanta leaves are tobacco leaves. The mixing of tobacco or tobacco leaves with any other product, such as marijuana, is likely to produce similar harmful effects on the body.
Now, if you witness violations of the smoke-free law, you can make a report by calling the tobacco complaint line. That number is 340-712-6230. Well, celebrations are underway over at the BVI in Road Town. Tortola, Lashing Dogs, they led a torchlight procession from the First Caribbean International Bank parking lot to the Neil Mr. Millet A. Blyden Festival in Road Town for the opening ceremony of the 63rd Virgin Islands Emancipation Festival on Monday. Now, Mr. Blyden died on January 1st, 2017. Dr. the Honorable D. Orlando Smith, the Premier and Minister of Finance, encouraged the Virgin Islands people to reflect on the past and to draw inspiration and look to the future with optimism, adding that it is fitting that the festival village be named after Mr. Blyden, who was very passionate about the Virgin Islands culture. In her remarks, Mrs. Janice Nibbs Blyden widow of the late Mr. Blyden expressed that she was extremely proud to accept the plaque that was given in her late husband's honor. The ceremony concluded with the cutting of the ribbon by Janice Nibs Blyden, ministers, and honorees and royalties as well. Now tonight, several local bands will take the stage to deliver the best that the Virgin Islands has to offer. This evening, we'll see performances from Kylo and the Styley Band, OMG, BDJ, among others. Well, the highly influential TripAdvisor travel review site listed the island of St. John, USVI, as one of the 15 best honeymoon destinations in the United States. The 15 destinations were chosen by an algorithm and that analyzed all the property reviews on TripAdvisor rentals to select the honeymoon destinations that have the highest rated rental accommodations. St. John in particular was praised for its world-class beaches, unspoiled forests, and blissful solitude. TripAdvisor, one of the world's largest travel sites, enables travelers to unleash the full potential of every trip. With more than 500 million reviews and opinions covering the world's largest selection of travel listings worldwide, more than 7 million accommodations, airlines, attractions, and restaurants. Now, it's stated, known as Love City, St. John's Isolation is an attraction for honeymooners, and it says this secluded destination has no airport or cruise ship dock. To reach this side of paradise, fly into neighboring St. Thomas and hop on the public ferry or splurge on a private water taxi. You'll be lounging on Honeymoon Beach, hiking the Reef Bay Trail, or snorkeling at Trunk Bay in no time. Later, you might find yourself shopping in Coral Bay or enjoying the nightlife in Cruise Bay. Tourism Commissioner Beverly Nicholson-Doty said it's great to see the U.S. Virgin Islands positioned among the top honeymoon destinations across the nation. She said, we would like to thank all of our visitors who wrote and continue to write reviews online and share their experiences with this online community of global travelers. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
We have a lot of activity going on here in the Caribbean. Taking a look at this wider map, we see this is what's left over of Tropical Storm Emily. She is being downgraded, not impacting us in any way, but we also have a stalled front. So our friends in Bermuda are certainly getting some wet weather. Now for us, down here in the Virgin Islands, we have a couple tropical waves heading in our direction. So for tonight, we're going to see one of them pass through. We're going to have an uptick in showers. Here we are, an uptick in showers and also some cloud coverage is expected for tonight. 80 degrees for the temperature. Not everyone will get wet. Some people might stay dry, but we could see a downpour here or there. St. John tomorrow, 89 degrees for the high temperature. Again, with a shower or two with that tropical wave, it's going to be a bit unsettled. St. Thomas, 89 degrees. Again, expect a shower or two to pass through. Other than that, we're going to have some sunshine mixing with some clouds. St. Croix, same story. It's going to be hot and humid. 91 degrees for the temperature, and expect some brief showers passing through. Now the ocean, because of all this activity, is a bit rough right now. So on the Atlantic side, we do have a small craft use caution advisory. So we could see some dangerous conditions out there if you're boating specifically. So be careful. Waves 5 to 7 feet, winds out of the east from 15 to 20 knots. Now as we switch it over to the Caribbean side, we have a small craft advisory. That means it is dangerous out there for sure, and you should certainly maybe avoid going out or definitely use caution out there on your small crafts, even at the beaches, because we are seeing some rough surf and also some rip currents. Waves 6 to 8 feet, winds out of the east from 15 to 20 knots. It is going to be a bit gusty here. That's going to continue through Thursday. We're going to see a couple showers pass through, an uptick more than we normally see, some gusty winds, rough surf, and that's going to continue again through Thursday. And then Friday, it starts to die down a bit. Just a shower in places, trade wind showers mostly in the afternoon hours. And that's the same story for Saturday and Sunday. And then our temperatures remain warm, right at 89 degrees here. So gorgeous beach weather here for the weekend. Back to you, Sandy.
By Ania Rodriguez, fifth grader. sharing this nice, beautiful rainbow, sunshine and blue skies. Nice colors there. And I hope you're having a wonderful summer representing the Allah F. Mullah Elementary School. Send us your News 2 weather picture to the address on the screen and tune in to see it right here on News 2. That is all for this edition. We'd like to thank you for joining us for all the latest. I'm Sandra Guman Singh. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next time.